Well, thank you all for being here. We're excited to start a new service here with you. I'm going to talk a little bit about tools that you can use, but first an update, and then Lisa will have time near the end. We'll have time for you to share some, and Lisa will be asking you some questions, and we will just have some open roundtable time. Um, so let's get started. And Lisa, if you could watch the chat and if anyone, in case anyone has questions as we go. So what's coming up? We sent some emails to you all as district administrators on August 5th um, about, and we included some of the same information in the K-Kids and Builders Club newsletters that were sent on August 20th. And in those places, you will find a list of the district administrator chats. This is the first, the advisor chats and club happenings for the year. The first chat for your advisors will take place on Wednesday, September 17th at 7 p.m. This year, we're trying something new. We're combining the K-Kids and Builders Club district administrator chats and the advisor chats. There's so much that's similar between the two programs, and a number of you do double duty. Some of you are even Kiwanis advisors. So we hope that this will make it easier for folks and also give you more time together. We'll give advisors as well a tour of the redesigned websites. We spent a lot of time moving things around, cleaning up some stuff, and adding some information that we thought would be useful to you. We'll also talk about Trick or Treat for UNICEF. So that is the first update. Um, so one of the things that we wanted to focus on this year was inviting clubs to share their stories in a number of ways. And I'm just going to mention two ways or three ways today. We'll be reaching out to advisors to request articles written by them or their officers to be featured in newsletters. The annual achievement reports and the Distinguished Club and Distinguished Advisor and Distinguished Officer nominations. Those forms give us some information, some insight into what's going on in clubs. And every now and then, a district administrator passes on stories from clubs. We're really grateful, for instance, to Gina Delisle. I'll just put that out there. Last year, in the spring, Gina reached out to her clubs, gathered service stories from both the K-Kids clubs and Builders clubs, and then forwarded them on to us. And so we will be seeing at least one story about the clubs in a club in her district. And so that's the only way that we kind of get insight through the awards or through word of mouth about what's going on in clubs. So we're excited to share stories straight from clubs. And for the annual global kickoff this year for K-Kids and Builders Clubs, we invited several clubs to send videos about their service projects to be included in the event. So clubs will be telling you, students, the officers will be telling you about what's going on, what went on in their clubs last year, some cool service ideas. The kickoff this year will be an event video that we release, not a live event. We'll release it at noon on October 1st. It will be available through the Global Kickoff web pages on each program's website. And we'll also send it out by email on October 1st with a link to the video. We encourage clubs to schedule a watch party or to share the video with members, whatever works for their club. And someone just said something. Does someone have a question? Or is there a mic on? May want to mute. The beginning of your member surveys opened September 1st and will close October 15th. This year, we'll have a special drawing for K-Kids clubs and Builders clubs that complete beginning and end of year surveys. So they give us a pre and post kind of look at what's going on in the club. The feedback that we gain from surveys is really so valuable. It offers us all great insight into club life and member growth. And here are just, four pieces of information, a few pieces of information from last year's surveys, so that we understand what just a few of the lessons are that you can gather from surveys. So, comparing K-Kids and Builders Club members' reflections on their on the skills that they learned, 75% of K-Kids said, and 82% of Builders Club members said that they learned the skill of teamwork or collaboration from their club experiences. That was the number one skill both of those groups reported last year. Nearly 74% of Builders Club members reported that they learned how to understand the real needs of their community from their experiences in their club. Kindness was, kindness was the issue that was most important to K-Kids members, and for Builders Club members, it was bullying and safety. So a lot of us think about hunger or homelessness or other topics, but those were the issues that were most important to our members this last year. 70% of K-Kids say that they learned how to help other members in their club. So they're learning about helping and also, really peer-to-peer. It gives you an insight into peer-to-peer relationships in clubs. So that's why it's really important for us to understand what's going on in clubs because we can get a sense of what members learn. Next update, we're asking that you help us encourage clubs to participate in Trick or Treat for UNICEF between October 1st and October 31st. Clubs can use the iconic orange collection boxes that are left over from last year or order more boxes from the Kiwanis Family Store. Clubs that raise $250 or more and make that donation before or by December 31st will earn a Trick or Treat for UNICEF banner patch. And you may have read, if you did read the events email that came to you at the beginning of August, it came to you as district administrators, we gave you a little secret that banner patches will be back for distinguished clubs this year as well. So that's not a part of this, but just wanted to mention that we're pretty excited about that. And I mentioned that leading into this, one of the ways that we're gaining insights into clubs and their needs and how we can support them is through the Faculty Advisor Council. We started the Builders Club Faculty Advisor Council last year, and one of the things that the council said was we'd like banner patches back. And so we will have banner patches back for distinguished clubs. So this year, we're also starting a K-Kids Faculty Advisor Council. The councils will each meet 4 times this year, and they really give us substantial feedback and ideas to inform the resources and the support that we provide for clubs. These are the council members and where they come from. We chose members based on applications and also also based on their years of experience. There's an array of somewhat new but experienced advisors, as well as some advisors who've been with their clubs for more than 20 years. So we're pretty excited about this. The Builders Club Council was 6 members last year and now has expanded. So we think that the K-Kids Council will also expand next year. So finally, now it's time to take a tour of the reorganized K-Kids and Builders Club websites to show you where you can find important information and tools that you can use. So I'm going to end this and actually go to the web. Just give me a second if you could here. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Oh, wrong thing. My apologies.
I liked how nice the websites look next to each other and how similar. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but it's kind of nice transition. You can find in similar places what you find on K-Kids, you'll find on the Builders Club website as well. The information is in the information is posted in the similar places.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, now can you see the websites? Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Hazel. Thanks, Steve. Okay, so the K-Kids, you'll notice that the K-Kids and Builders Club websites kind of mirror each other. A lot of the information is the same. Some of the language is different. Like, you focus on different things in middle school education and leadership development versus elementary or primary school, but it's very similar. So I'm going to show you some pages from the K-Kids website and some from the Builders Club website. You will see that we changed Discover to About, and there's an About section. It has some of the same content and some different content. Um, some of what we'll look at right now is really to help you as you put together information when you're either presenting or having meetings or putting together an email that's specifically for a Kiwanis club president, for a teacher that you might know, for a school or an organization leader. So the About page is really a useful place to send people to because, or to use yourself, it has the informational video right up at the top. It has basic information taken from the snapshot that Kiwanis puts together of all of their clubs, basic information on the number of clubs and the number of members worldwide, as well as the number of countries that we're in, and you can see that the same information, some of the same information on the homepage. So you've got some general information about the clubs, and most importantly, you have what also appears in the member guide, the K-Kids member guide, and the Builders Club member and officer toolkit. You've got the motto, the mission, the objects. And one thing, and a couple of these things are really important to school leaders, core values. So what are the values that we focus on in our clubs? The pledge, and then to give you some more information, at the bottom there's a box that leads to our explanation of our service leadership model. And so how are we different than lots of other youth clubs? That explains it. One of the pages that we have added in the About section, if you look at this, is the navigation is in the top bar, and sub navigation is on some of the pages on the second bar in white. How clubs work. We've added a page that explains for people that don't know anything about our clubs, what are the roles of students? Students can be members or they can be officers. What are the roles or committee, or they can be on committees and they can be chairs of committees. So this gives you language to use around each of those roles. And then what roles do adults play? Well, they're advisors, and there's two different types of advisors. It also explains basically what a sponsoring Kiwanis club does and the host site's role, so the school or the organization. So there's some links there, and there's also a link to partners. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. Oh, I'm sorry. One thing that I did not cover on on the about page was at the bottom, actually, homepage, I'm sorry, at the bottom of the homepage is something that may be useful to you. There are blocks that go to a page for parents and a page for school leaders. So that might be useful to you. The school leaders, it takes them straight to how to start a club. And then the sections that you've used the most probably, I would imagine, are the district administrator page that used to have links to all kinds of resources. We've kind of cleaned that up and moved them into a resource section, and we'll show you what's there. But you still have a district administrator page that has the year's events at the top, useful a section that shows you how to get into Kiwanis Engage and or go straight to your club reports that Kiwan Pinson updates once a week. So on Wednesdays, the new reports are downloaded, or you can get live time reports through Kiwanis Engage. The role of administrators, if you're a new administrator, there are just some basics about the roles of district administrators. And then the blocks at the bottom go to your main resource pages. So we're going to look at the administrator resources webpage and the administrator education webpage in just a little bit. But we think that from the requests that we get from you, the third place that you probably go to are what are the resources that clubs and advisors have. So there's also a link to advisor resources. The advisors have a web page just like you do. It's also under for leaders, and then in sub-navigation advisors. Their events are at the top. It looks just like your page, except it also has survey information. So when the surveys go live, there will be a link on there that takes them straight to the surveys that are live during that time of the year. And then there's some basic information on advisor roles. One of the things that you asked us for last year was a simple flyer that explains what does a faculty advisor do, what does a Kiwanis advisor do. We have a list of things to develop this year for you and for the clubs. And it's just going to be a matter of one thing after another of the things that have been requested. So we still have that on the list, as well as updating the district administrator guide. And that is one of the next big projects for us is updating the DA guide, because we know that some things are out of date in it. So just giving you that update. And again, the advisor page has blocks at the bottom that take them to the resources that they use the most. Advisor education is the education pages are new pages that we've created. And what we've done is you used to have on your main page as a district administrator or as an advisor, there used to be a bunch of links to old events, old recordings of old events. We've moved over the ones that are most relevant to the education pages. We also will be, and you can look for this, we'll be adding articles to topics that are most relevant. Like for advisors, a topic might be how do you train officers? And there may be an article about that, not just a recording of a past event. Okay, so let's go to the resources section. Each of the web pages has a resources section that looks like this and has the same categories. At the top, the thing we're most asked for by clubs are, can you give us ideas or examples of service or how to do service? And so we've created a service resources section. And the section has videos, articles, links to the main service documents that we've created or publications we've created, and they're all in one place. So let's go to that real quick so you can see. So up at the top are meeting kits, which we've had for a while, and we'll be developing a few more each year. So this year we have 3 or 4 new cause kits that we'll be creating. So that would be a kit that has information about a particular issue, like animal care, for instance, and ideas for projects around, say, animal care or homelessness, and some educational information that teaches club members about that issue. So that's one of our goals this year, is to develop 3 new cause kits, and so that area will expand over time. And then you've got different categories of service resources: how to plan and carry out service. And so there are some different resources around that. Like, one part of service is reflection. So there's a reflection tool. One part of service is identifying the service project, one step. And so there's a resource around that. And then there's videos. Over the last several years, we've created several videos for service, like different ways to do service, fundraising, donation drives, hands-on service, and advocacy or educational projects. So we have several videos, and of course uh, our colleague Curtis Bailu and the communications department are really talented in the videos that they show that through the videos they've created for clubs. So we're happy to offer those. So going back to the resources, homepage, we've got service resources, recruitment and marketing resources in one place. They used to be kind of broken up in different categories. Advisor resources, officer, member, and club and committee chair resources, all in one section. And the advisor and the officer or member resources, those categories are pretty similar because they're going to use some of the same tools to run club meetings. Event resources, so anything for K-Kids Week, Builders Club Week, Trick or Treat for UNICEF, Global Kickoff, and then special events that happen, like officer installations or member installation ceremonies. Those kinds of tools will all be in that section. And then you've got an area for administrator resources, which we're going to go through next, and links to other resource or informational pages. Are there any questions? All right. So the resources for administrators, up at the top, you've got boxes that take you to the pages on the website where you'll find the things that you use most. How do you get into Kiwanis Engage? You can click on that and you go straight to the Kiwanis Engage sign-in. How do you get to district reports? You can click on that and go straight to those reports that are updated weekly. You can get to the newsletters by clicking on this, and you'll go to the 2 years worth of newsletters. If you want to learn about Kiwanis youth protection policies, or you need a refresher, or you need a link to the youth protection training, or a link to start a background check, you go through that link. As I mentioned, there's an administrator education page, and we'll look at that in a second. And then there's FAQs. And I don't think we went to FAQs yet. So just to remind you that there is a frequently asked questions page that we updated last year, after asking you all, what kinds of questions do you have? What kinds of what kinds of information do you need access to right away? After asking you, as well as asking advisors. And so there's a general section of the FAQs that answer basic questions like, how does a student join a club? Or what does it cost to charter a club and to renew it every year? Or what if, what if, I need to reactivate a club? What is the cost? What resources are provided for clubs to help them, to schools to help them run a club? So there's some basic information, lots of different types of information in the FAQs. And then there's a section for Kiwanis clubs. And this, we think, is one of the important additions. It's what's the responsibilities of a Kiwanis club that's sponsoring a K-Kids or a Builders Club. But the most used section is probably, how does a Kiwanis Club secretary renew a K-Kids club or a Builders Club at the beginning of the year? So what is the renewal process? And that's been updated for Kiwanis Engage since we no longer have the muck. So that's a good place to go to refresh your memory and to help your clubs as they pay the renewals. Again, you'll hear us say this every year. It is better for clubs to renew at the beginning of the school year, not their service year, not after October 1st, because some schools have been, in operation since August 1st. So we encourage you to encourage them to renew early in the year. Okay, so the administrator's resource page has the district administrator guide at the top and the district administrator checklist, which was something new that we shared last year. When we have the new DA guide done before Christmas or maybe before Thanksgiving, it will just replace what's on here, but we'll let you know when that happens. What you need to start a club, the bylaws and the reactivation and the petition for charter forms are right here. And then tools that you can use for communication, for meetings or to correspond. So a PowerPoint template, the SLP brochure, a link to the promotional video, a thank you card template. And then something new that we gave you last year was the What is K-Kids or What is Builders Club PowerPoint presentation specifically for a Kiwanis audience. So if you're doing a presentation to a Kiwanis club or at a district meeting and it's a brand, they don't know much about K-Kids, they've only sponsored key clubs maybe, this would be that presentation's new or up to date and a good resource. And then a section on logos and graphics, so you can go and just grab a logo for whatever you're putting together. And then the reimbursement form for DA expenses based on, you can reach out to us about that based on if you've chartered new clubs this year. And Lisa is a great resource for that if you have questions around that. This is the district administrator education page. I think you'll find that we add some things to it this year, but these are links to past chats around specific topics. Again, we haven't totally cleaned it up, but that most of these are not duplicates and they're relevant topics, not just kind of updates about that time of year at that year. So for new administrators, I encourage you to look at the responsibilities of a district administrator. I'm actually shocked. Sometimes I've talked to district administrators who've been doing it for a year and they didn't realize that they have like 6 duties. So, running a K-Kids committee for the district or an SLP committee for the district is not a duty that's in all districts. It's in some districts, but some of the others are definitely duties of all administrators. So please reach out to us if you have any questions. And finally, there is your newsletter page. So that last year's newsletters and the year before. So you'll have about 2.5 years worth of newsletters. And that's it. That is a lot. I've been talking for a long time. Does anyone have questions? Now it's your turn to have a conversation. Any questions before I finish up here? If you can't find anything, we know that there are things you've asked for, like one of the next things that we'll put in your section of resources later in the month will be email templates. So if you're sending an email to a school district superintendent or a school principal, what would be, some of the things links that you might send them to, basic, information that you might give them with some kind of educational language, like what's important in schools. We're going to use skills are really important in schools. So we're going to add a couple of sentences about, here's what your kids will gain one of those things are skills. So we're going to add some templates, and you will see a reference to that in probably the October newsletter. So so anyway, that's all we have, and I'm going to turn it over to you, Lisa, and I'm going to go ahead and put some things. If you watch the chat, I will add a few things to the chat and also check to see if you have any questions as you have a conversation. Anything that you want others to know that you think is broadly useful, put in the chat, because we will be sending a follow-up email next week with links that we've provided here and some information about, for instance, how to order Trick or Treat for UNICEF boxes and things like that. So you'll get a follow-up email next week.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Luana.
Thank you, everyone.
So let's have a bit of a discussion. One of the first things we'd like to talk about is, have you had a chance to use Kiwanis Engage? And if you have, what do you like about it? We'd like to hear some feedback. Does anyone want to comment about this?
I will.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
I have used it and I have not found it that difficult to use at all.
Oh, awesome.
Being the secretary of two clubs, I need to know how to use Engage, and
Hmm.
I actually have been able to find stuff. I was, if you go, your different clubs that you belong to are listed, and then my New England and Bermuda is listed, so that's how I can get access to my K Kids and my Builders Club information. But I actually have not had that much trouble with Kiwanis Engage at all.
Beautiful. Yes. Anyone else want to comment about that? I did find the videos to be quite helpful. Has anyone watched any of the training videos for Kiwanis Engage? I thought they were very helpful. If anyone wants to comment about that.
I know what they did at our district convention, Lisa, is they actually had a session on Kiwanis Engage that people could go to so that they would know how to use it. And I'm sure they must have used the videos, but that was a big session at our decon.
Oh, wonderful. That's nice to hear that that's happening at the district level. I know that as staff, we went in and we were learning at the same point, right along with you. And I found it to be it's different, but I think very user friendly. So that's a positive. Does anyone have any comments about that? If not, we'll move on to the next thing. Um, and the question here, what is the best way to connect with your advisors? Does anyone want to discuss this? The best way you've found to connect with your advisors.
I send them emails.
I send emails.
Yep.
That's what I do, email list.
Okay. And they're good at responsive to emails. And
Sometimes.
oh, yeah. So are you say just out of curiosity, is like an email short messages when things are approaching and events, or long newsletters? What have you found to be most successful?
I try to do all in one.
Hmm.
I don't want to overwhelm them with constant emails. So when
Good point.
when awards deadline's coming up, the month before, I'll put out a whole thing on awards and
Hmm.
stress what they need to. Like I'll put out the things to do probably this week about clubs paying up their fees and getting their kits.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Anyone else want
With the
to
kits, I know you want them to do it in September, but most of our clubs wait until they have the money in October for the new fiscal year to pay it.
Same here.
Right. Yes, and we understand that. I feel that's probably frequent.
Lisa, isn't there, I thought that there was a way for them to defer, they could pay it, but then add the cost to next year.
I
They
don't
can actually
know.
pay them early and defer that cost so that they're not waiting, keeping clubs waiting for the materials. Kevin, if you want information about that, I can talk to the finance department and
Please send it. Yeah, send that to
yeah,
me
I'm
because I
pretty
know they're
sure
holding off on orders. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, thank you.
I was going to implement a newsletter this year, and I have one Kiwanis advisor that is extremely like active and kind of did this really cool thing with the Builders Club at the school she sponsors. Is a private school,
Hmm.
and they actually use a it's an elective to do Builders Club. And there's like a big waiting list for it now and stuff. And
Oh.
so I was gonna have her do like an Ask Alice column every like quarter and
Oh,
like
great
kind of
idea.
put like this in September this month it'll be about getting started and what you need to talk to your school kind of thing. And I was kind of giving her free range on it on what she would like to do with the column. So, but I don't have a committee. And so that's also something I'm gonna try to do to be
Hmm.
able to get resources and stuff out to the state of Florida because we're so long,
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
it's
you're a
hard
big
to be
district.
like a direct connection to your whether it's Kiwanis or faculty advisors.
Yeah, that's a great idea because you have faculty advisors that are successful sharing their story with others and answering questions. They know where the other advisors are coming from. So that's always a benefit. That's a really
Mhm.
good idea. Anyone else want to comment on that? What has been positive? And I also love when administrators are asking for feedback about what's happening with their clubs and they respond and they send you information about the service they're doing. That's wonderful. Well, let's move on. Does your district host Kiwanis family events or service projects? And if so, how has this helped with new club growth? So, does your district host Kiwanis family events or service projects? And if so, how has this helped with new club growth? Does anyone want to comment on that?
Our governor this past year, Jeremy
Hmm.
Real. So prior to Jeremy was Prairie, and they're like a married couple, Jeremy and Prairie Real.
Oh,
And the first year Prairie did like weekend, like a winter mid conference kind of thing in North and South Florida. And then they realized they didn't still have the participation they wanted because they really missed West and East Florida. So this year for Jeremy, they did North, South, East, and West Florida. And it kind of brought people from different clubs together to collaborate, do a service project. They could bring their families if they want.
oh.
And so unfortunately I couldn't go because of my fun summer plans. But I heard that it was like really successful. And I mean, the great thing about those kind of meetings is that they just rejuvenate your passion and will to like get those new members and kind of build those clubs. So that's kind of something we do, I think is going to move forward in our district.
Oh, beautiful. So a district service project that really draws people
Mhm.
together and all Kiwanis family members. Yeah, we'd like to see more of that happening. Um, how and where
And
do you,
Lisa,
oh,
when
huh?
you were sorry, when you were talking about Kiwanis family, I think what we were trying to get at was not just Kiwanis clubs, but Kiwanis clubs, Key clubs, K
Kiwanis
Kids,
family,
Builders Club. So all Kiwanis club lines. Are there any? Do you have any examples of that in your district, folks?
Kiwanis family. Yeah.
At our DCON this year, I was able to connect with our Key Club and our CKI administrators, and they're combining their fall rally. So
Oh,
did talk to them, and so they're going to open it up, and we're going to make it more of an SLP fall rally. I'm in a really large state, so the likelihood that I'll get good attendance from K Kids and Builders are slim, but those that
mhm.
I can get there, that'll be an opportunity for them. What we're trying to tap into is especially for Builders Club members is introducing them to Key Club
Mm-hmm.
finding out those leadership tools and lessons, and then following up in the spring when there's decon, having them come out with one outgoing officer who'll be joining Key Club in the fall, and one officer who'll be leading the Builders Club the following fall. So have them attend both the rally and the decon, so they can get those
Smart.
leadership lessons, as well as maybe try to see if we can get them to attend a key leader.
Oh, yes. Key
But
leaders.
it's but we'll see. We
Yeah,
just
that's a
don't know
great,
yet.
great plan.
It's a lot of state, 4 states and a District of Columbia, so a lot of territory to cover and just not a lot. Even though my district is large, I only have
Hmm.
50 combined K Kids and Builders clubs
Right.
currently.
But it's great to connect them with Key Club because I do think it motivates them to continue in continue in Kiwanis and they know what's available and they know what's next.
Yeah, especially
So,
if there's like a board opening for the Key Club District Board. And I'm like, well, did you really enjoy yourself in Builders Club? Well, why don't you come out? If there's no one has applied for that position, maybe you can get the appointment in the fall. And that way the
hmm.
district administrators and zonies already know you.
Yes,
They have
wonderful.
the recommendation to bring you up into leadership that much faster.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see. Yeah, districts
So
connecting, some districts connect better in that way. Yes, did someone else want to make a comment?
yeah,
Brian?
so I know my home club itself is very active. I spent 8 years as a Kiwanis advisor for the Key Club in our
Oh,
community, and of course we have Builders Club, and we have one school site for each elementary,
mm-hmm,
middle school. So it's pretty easy to manage. But one thing I'll say that my club itself has done a very good job is reaching out and involving all of our SLPs in any project the club does. And
awesome.
so obviously talking about spread out between Texas and Oklahoma, that's a massive wide range. But
Yeah.
what does surprise me, and I'll say broadly speaking, because I think in Kiwanis especially, we always talk about membership and bringing in people and having a pipeline, if you will. But
Hmm.
what shocks me is whenever I talk to our incoming governor in the spring about how very few builders clubs there are, having been with working with the Key Clubs for years, we have tons of them. I mean, there's just every metro, you've got multitude of them, but there's
Hmm.
at least on average two middle schools tied to a high school. Especially if you spread that across even with rural areas of Oklahoma and Texas. So what I'm curious is in hearing that the DC area struggles with the same thing. They don't have very many K Kids and Builders Clubs. Is where is the disconnect between bridging those members, those kids coming up through, and like we have tons of Key Clubs, but we don't have Builders Clubs. Why are we not funneling down? And I'm getting ready to start working. And oddly enough, the district administrator for Key Club is in my same home club, so that makes it easy
Oh,
for
that's
me.
wonderful.
But we do have a disconnect that we don't have a bridge program as kids are going to be in our K Kids. We don't have a project at the end of their school year that those older kids go work with the Builders Club they're going to go into will be the incoming officers, to where they'll maybe go to just their school site and do a a project to fresh up school. AA would give them a tour of their school site that they're going to be going to, that's one-on-one, and they get to meet those owners, and you get more of a buy-in from kids that are already bought into B&K kids. And same with the Key Club having a service project at the high school, so those builders clubs can go, those kids that are going to be moving to high school can work with them in a
Hmm.
project that it can be something simple as cleaning up the school site at the end of a year. Because I mean, I was a teacher for 3 years. Schools can be chaos and crazy at the end of the year. And I don't know very many teachers that would say no to having some extra help. But we just have a huge disconnect between that. And I just don't know if, obviously, I'm new to this. So I'm coming from my own experiences, both being active in a club and having, worked with the key clubs. But what can we do to, bridge that and fix that? Both having the key clubs actively work to develop builders clubs and builders clubs working to build K Kids. And then, our Kiwanis
Vice
clubs having
versa.
an action plan to follow through with that as well.
Right.
Do
I
you
think,
do you invite your Builders Club leaders to your K Kids installations?
So we do in my community, and I mean, but there's no project to really get them to be excited about it. And working with those kids, I mean, I don't know many eighth graders that would be unhappy going and spending time with the older kids at the high school. And I have a small, our high school graduates 100 some odd kids a year.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's a very close or tight knit. And I grew up in a large, massive school district. So, I mean, I have to kind of keep in mind, I know it's hard to meet everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes what we do is at our K Kids meetings, we'll have some of the key clubbers help out.
Yeah.
So
Ah,
the K
smart.
Kids will get to meet the key clubbers.
That's good. And I know in some districts the key clubs are very aware of this, right? And they depending on the district, they do invite their builders clubs, mostly it's the builders clubs to attend their district events. Um, but it just has to be an effort, I guess, connecting with your key club district administrator and finding out how how can we make this more collaborative and what can we do? And I
Yeah,
know
in
they
the
would be
past,
very open to it because it ensures the stability of Key Club as well, right?
my
Sometimes in your
district,
club, you
whether
can
you
just do
were,
a sometimes in your club you can do a social event. We've done a couple of bowling fundraisers where we invited all our SLPs to pair up with each other.
Beautiful. Alana, what were you saying? You were commenting as well.
so in my district at district convention, whether it was CKR, Key Club, or Kiwanis, there usually is a K Kids and a Builder speaker. That was in the past. We've kind of
Mhm.
gotten away from it, so I'm looking to get
Yeah.
that reinstated. Even an Action Club speaker when I was governor, it was really important for me to have that. I had one session that was entirely led by SLPs, including Action Club. That was important to me. One of the other things that I found is because you had talked about the disconnect when
Hmm.
I was the zone administrator for CKI and the advisor to my Circle K club. Not every Kiwanis club in my division had an SLP at all. And so I tried to say, let's get out of our heads about this is your club, you sponsor, you da da da, and make it more of a family relationship that if you're having a project, you're having an event, let us know. Our students are willing to come out and volunteer and serve and work together. They're willing to come out and fellowship. And when I found that, like, it really improved the amount of service that I saw my Circle Kers doing back then. And it also got the Kiwanis clubs engaged and invested where you would have maybe a Kiwanian who was in Maryland sponsoring a CKR from DC for a Sapphire Circle because they had
Ah,
gotten to know them that well during that time. Those students would come out, they would run the key club training boards for officers and lieutenant governors and assist if that was needed. As a help, we had lieutenant governors that were coming across different divisions. We're very metrocentric, like where I am. I'm in the part of
mhm.
DC that's called the DMV, so DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of room to move around and get around pretty quickly if you're in that part of obviously now
Hmm.
with West Virginia and Delaware, it's a little more challenging
Yeah.
to get everyone in, and even the Southern Virginia part. But again, that's where I kind of
Definitely.
really am looking to rebuild our Kiwanis support committee.
Hmm.
So there was no administrator for K Kids or Builders Club this current outgoing administration. No one and no adult committee. So that was a part of it. Then, coming back from the pandemic, we were coming off of that merger. So
Yeah.
trying to get accustomed to that. Again, they had just kind of fallen by the wayside. So getting
Hmm.
it reacclimated and getting it back in. There's also, and this is not shade to KI, we've had a lot of people that were stepping away because they said they weren't getting good administrator training.
Oh, yeah.
That was when we did away with the in-person.
Yep.
And
It's
then
changed.
well,
Yes.
so
Yes.
now it's good to see that this is coming back where you're seeing more information, but like literally they just would not commit for more than 1 year, and you do need that continuity.
Yes. That's
So like
true.
for me, like I said, I was building a builders club. Someone had reached out just blind and they happened to be in the area. I'm like, well, that's where my home club is. Like, no problem, we'll sponsor you. And they were like, well, I tried to reach your administrator, but you all don't have one. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll come back and be the administrator, make sure you're not lost in the gap. So things that was building and implementing for my own builders club that I sponsor, I'm like, this is what I'll bring to the role as the district administrators, I need to share that as well. And I tend to know most of the Kiwanis advisors. Again,
Mhm.
I've been in my district over 25 years. I'm a past governor. So I know a lot of the people, or I'm meeting you when I'm at a district event and saying, what do we do? How do we get there?
Mhm.
We are financially solvent, so there are things, tools that I could put into place. That actually was going to be one of my questions. Is there new merchandise coming for K Kids and Builders? I checked the
Oh,
store earlier today. There are items that
yeah.
are out of stock, and most items are not tangible.
Well, it would be nice to hear some suggestions that we could share with the retail team. I don't know how much we can make happen, but we can certainly ask. What do you think, Luana? Is that something we can ask about?
I think one of the things that they've relied on is if, for instance, you wanted t-shirts, that you would order the t-shirts through their affiliated store where they were, brand appropriate and you could personalize those. But if you have ideas of specific types of merchandise, do share those with us, Alana. Um, because as Lisa said, we pass it on to retail. Anything that they have created has to have some kind of a market. And I think that this is one of the reasons that there isn't, that maybe there used to be more, there's only a few items for K Kids and Builders Club. Key
Right.
clubs spend money, they order things, and I think that our clubs don't. I could be speaking out of turn. So Alana, if you would send us some suggestions, that would be
Thanksgiving
wonderful.
night. The turkey
Brian?
sat in the center of the table like a trophy, untouched.
Brian, I'm sorry just to mention just to get back to what you asked, and it's clear from what Alana said and what Kevin has said, districts function differently and different things work in different districts. But we don't want you all to forget that in some places, key clubs co-sponsoring a Builders Club or a K Kids is really a powerful thing. Key clubs can go into schools that they've graduated from where there isn't a builders club, for instance. Those high school students can really tell a powerful story and help even charter clubs in a middle school in their district or even in an elementary school. And that has worked in some places, like in PNW, I think they have like 5 co-sponsored clubs. So CKIs and Key Clubs can co-sponsor clubs or co-charter other SLPs. Just a reminder there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oftentimes if
I mean,
the school campus, I know if the school campus, the Builders Club and the high school and the middle school are close together on the same campus, that works the best.
yeah. I mean, I think things like that. I didn't know that was an option. Because like I said, I mean, working with the Key Club, they are very motivated. You give them, something to do, they implement and do. At least in my experience. And I will say, um, it was mentioned earlier in the deal about banner patches.
Mhm.
It's something that I've offered and spoken with our, incoming governor, that I've noticed for years that when I first joined my club 14, 15, 16 years ago, there's a lot of old patches and we've got a handful of banners, but then there's nothing new and there's nothing unique. And, of course, I own a construction business and I drive a lot and I eat out a lot and have every app, everything you go to, everyone's giving badges and awards, and they're a business that markets, and they pay millions of dollars for marketing. That works. Obviously, there's large segments of the adult population that wants that, and our Kiwanis clubs have seemed, and our districts, at least from what I can tell, have kind of fallen away, and they're just kind of cookie cutter, nothing. If that is something that we can motivate Key Club and give them, where there is a banner patch that if they participate in chartering a builders
Oh, that's a
club
good
or
idea.
a K Kids, that would motivate them. And that's not the reason they're going to do it, but it's also a check mark of, we accomplished this, and it creates a legacy in there. And it doesn't have to be something that is specific for a year. It can just be, you know, a banner patch for, chartering or co-chartering. And that's something I think our Kiwanis clubs need as well, because those banners should tell a story. I'm a historian. My background is in historical research, and those banners tell a history of our clubs and our organizations. And it seems like we've fallen away from that history and we don't tell those stories and we rely on people to tell it and we don't have any visual aid. And everyone is so driven by visual stimuli today. So that's just a thought that I've been playing with for a while. The projects writ large for districts even should implement to a heavier degree in little bit investment to get better involvement from their clubs as clubs are shrinking and dying.
Good point.
Yeah, I skew like my projects and fundraisers and things for whether it's for my own club or for the ones I'm sharing to sites that are already offering certificates or patches. What I did do for my home club, because we just turned 75, is we went back and we scanned all of our patches and made them digital because now everybody's
Oh,
going social media, Facebook. Believe it or not, they actually, with a scanner, they copy really, really well, very clean, and are easy to use for websites or social media.
that's nice to
What I
hear.
did do, so my Kiwanis Club does sponsor a Key Club,
Hmm.
but they are radio silent. And I know there's some people who can sympathize with that. So one of the tricks that we're doing through my Builders Club is me building that relationship with them. I know they're feeding into that high school,
Hmm.
and they're going to rebuild the communication bridge between my club and that Key Club.
Hmm. Beautiful. Well, do we want to wrap this up? There's one more question we had
I
before.
tried to raise my hand, but I
Oh,
guess it's not showing up. Um, I just I had mentioned this previously about doing like a digital convention for Builders Club because I feel
oh,
like a lot of times it's hard for like
that
with the
age group.
restrictions that Builders Club has on like going places kind of thing and like traveling to Key Club Decon. Obviously, it's something we want them to do, but this would allow more than just eighth graders to participate. And it would give an opportunity like so this was supposed to happen like beginning of next year, but after all my medical stuff in the summer, and I unfortunately think I'm gonna have to push it back. But it was gonna have like the kind of things that we have at Decon, like public speaking and maybe like a high school 101 and how to
Oh, that's a good
integrate
idea.
into a key club, you know what I mean? Like just different things and then kind of have an advisor line that they can do at the same time. Um, Once again, it's all preliminary because it's kind of like I haven't heard of anyone doing this kind of thing. And so, if anyone has any ideas or suggestions or want to be a part of it, maybe we can, you know,
Yeah.
collaborate,
Well,
put our districts
I will
together.
comment that Circle K International, now this is an international group, did a special session for Key Clubbers and advertised it for College 101. And it was phenomenal. And parents, I don't know that parents attended, it was mostly the Key Clubbers, but as a staff member watching it, I was like, wow, parents should see this too because there was such useful information about what to expect if you were going to go on to school. So that maybe that could be something as well that Key Club International would hold something and invite Builders Club members to attend, but I'm not sure about it would have to be Builders Clubs as classes attend, I believe, to get online and watch something like that. I'm not sure if the special permission would be needed. Luana understands that. We need to be very careful
Yeah,
about youth
there's
protection.
security issues when it comes
Yes.
to anyone who's younger than, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's so many great ideas out there, and sometimes these things are implemented in districts and at the international
Right.
level, really, what do we not do so that we can do something new? But it'll be interesting to see, Nicole, how that works in your district. We have kept you longer than we had intended, and really excited to hear your stories. And Lisa, do you want to wrap us up here?
Oh, well, just thank you everyone for being here. You can watch for a recording of this, which will be posted online, and there'll be a link. So you can come back and watch watch again or share with others who were unable to attend. Thanks for being here, and great ideas, and I feel very inspired. Hopefully you do too.
Reach out to us if you have questions and if you need any support. We're really excited about the new year coming up. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for spending your evening with us. We appreciate you. Bye,
Hey,
everybody.
thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.